Call the meeting to order for the City Council meeting April 5th, 2018. Please stand. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
O'Connor.
Here.
Moore. Payne.
Here.
Dade.
Here.
Hellenthal.
Here.
Mortimer. Greenwald.
Here.
Bryant.
Here.
Dunning.
Here.
We got 7 present, 2 absent.
If everybody could mute their cell phones that are here, appreciate it very much. Do we have any citizens' requests? No one? Okay, a consent agenda. We have the minutes of the Safety Committee meeting of February 20th, 2018. Minutes of the regular City Council meeting of March 15th, 2018. Minutes of the Safety Committee meeting of March 20th, 2018. You received the council reports, the resolution approving liquor license for Casey's General Store number 2595, 326 Main Street, effective April 26, 2018. Class C beer permit with Sunday sales. Liquor license for Hy-Vee fundraiser 2981 Plank Road, effective May 3, 2018, a 5-day event. Class C liquor license. A liquor license for the Starlight 529 South 5th Street, effective April 6, 2018. Class C liquor license with Sunday sales. Sidewalk display permit for Java River 1000 Main Street. Cahill Pribble Jewelry 511 Main Street. Gate City Seed Company 824 Main. Family Discount Furniture 609 Main. Dan's Pawn and Gun 602 Main. Eklund Motors 1802 Main. Keokuk Convention and Tourism 428 Main Street. Angeline's Pizza 1006-1008 Main Street. Youngren's Shoes 422 Main. Rascals Pub and Grub 820 Main Street. And motion to pay the bills and transfers listed within registers number 4988 to 4990. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda, including the consent agenda?
Point of order. Point of order.
Yes.
You want to have the amended agenda to reflect the 20-foot.
Number 14.
Okay. Plus, we have the amended agenda to reflect the 33 by 20 instead of 33 by 10 section of the alleyway.
30 by 20.
30 by 20.
30 by 20.
Instead of 30 by 10, correct. What did I say?
33 by.
Oh, well, okay.
We're getting there.
Somebody's listening. Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Item number 7, motion to approve the goal setting report.
So we had the session, the goal setting session, and Jeff Schott with the University of Iowa came up. I think that was a good session. I always find it beneficial for the carrying out of my duties to know the thoughts of the council in the long run, and it helps me work towards different goals that the council set out every year. That document is included in the packet that reflects the products and the work product of that meeting, listing out the accomplishments that the city has experienced, the issues, concerns, trends, and opportunities as perceived by the council and staff, and then ongoing commitments, obligations, and new priorities and projects. Obviously, there's a long list of ongoing commitments and obligations that are listed there. I won't go through all of those things, but there's things that we're experiencing success with, such as, closing out the comprehensive plan and working forward with the grants to make improvements at the Roquette building and all sorts of different things on that list that staff has been working on by council direction. As far as new priorities, there were 3 things that were listed as the priorities that came from council, and that was to provide additional funding for street repairs. So working to identify additional funding, which we obviously already worked towards that as far as grant funding, but seeing whatever else we can do, knowing that street repairs are such a high priority. To look at charging fees to cover apartment inspections, understanding the state of rental properties here within the city are below the quality that the council expects, and trying to find an enforcement mechanism to improve that housing quality. And then lastly, number 3 was looking at tax abatement incentives, such as a 3 or 5 year rebate on rental property, also looking to improve the quality of housing within the community. So those were the 3 things that were listed. Those don't necessarily mean that the others aren't as equally important, but those are the 3 new ones for this year. So I want to thank the council for taking time to do that. Like I said, it's very beneficial for me to hear that discussion, and hopefully we can cross more of these off in the future and find more success.
So, do we have a motion to approve the goal-setting report?
So moved. Second.
Second, do we have any discussion, further discussion? None? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have someone speaking on number 8 here?
Yep.
You wanna get,
And then Doug,
now's the time if you wanna get up, Annette, and talk about number 8.
and that specifically.
I didn't know we were talking.
You don't have to.
You don't have to if you don't want to,
It's, yeah.
otherwise we'll just have the motion and,
Well, we already discussed it last time, we just.
okay.
Okay.
I know you like getting up and talking in
Annette
front of
Beaver.
everyone here, so.
This is heckling, is what this is.
So, anybody have any questions of Annette? The best thing if there's any questions?
No,
No?
like it.
So as the one thing that I didn't know whether, I just wanted to make clear, one of the things that was asked is to forego the police officer requirement with the pavilion event. Just want to make sure that that's being approved also as part of this, is to forego the police officer requirement. It's a requirement set by council, so you can waive it.
Anybody want to discuss it, or you want to make a motion to approve?
Is that in is that in the item that will be,
That was the request from
So it is.
from the
It's in the
pavilion.
request.
such as for future?
Yep.
I just comment that there always is an officer available if necessary. I mean, we have officers on patrol all the time.
Well, I'm not in favor of doing that. I mean, this is what we agreed to do. This is what we set up for. And now if we're gonna start picking and choosing, this one does, that one don't, I'm not in favor of that. I think
That's
we oughta,
fine.
I think
If-
they're
if
here,
we have to,
it's
yeah.
in the ordinance, it ought to stay there and be required. I don't think we ought to change it for this event or that event. It's there. I'm not in favor of changing it.
We're willing to do whatever you want us to do.
What's the benefits of, I guess, of the opposite not having them there? Is,
Saves us money.
yeah.
What is the fee for the officer?
You know what the fee is?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
What is the
Well,
fee?
how much is the fee for the officer?
I think it was
$35 an hour, depending
Oh, okay.
on how long your event is.
35 an hour.
And we're like, basically, you're bringing this up because what you see, there's no issue with not having one there.
We've just never had any problems, and it just seems like when we have had the officers there, they're just standing around bored. So, I mean, maybe they don't mind, I don't know. But, so we just thought it would save us money, and then they wouldn't have to come out. I mean, of course, if we had any problems, we'd call the police, but we never have. We have a pretty mellow crowd.
Is this specific for events that will have alcohol at them? Or for all things that?
Just the alcohol.
The alcohol.
Yeah, the officer.
Well, this is the way we structured this when we established Rand Park was with a commission that is separate and runs separately. But for all practical purposes, they're providing the service for entertainment in the park, and we're just putting the burden, the cost burden on them, because that's the commission, so they have to raise money to put on the entertainments and put on everything else, and now we're saying you also gotta spend, what's an average of, entertainment, a couple hours,
Yeah.
3 hours, an extra $7,500 for an officer that you've never needed, and that is always available if you need to call them. And I think that if we want to require an officer to be there, as a city council, I don't see why the city couldn't assume that responsibility for that officer, to take the cost burden off of the commission.
So
Because
then-
you're saying because it's one of our own commissions, we'd still require
Exactly.
the officer there, but we wouldn't have to charge them
If we
for
feel
it,
it's necessary to keep an officer
because it's
there.
kind of like paying
And,
ourselves.
I feel it's unfair, if there's never been a problem and there isn't a problem, to put that extra burden, because they have to fundraise independently to put those events on, to put them together. And I think that's much more benefit to the city than having an officer standing around.
So,
I think he did.
I'm clear on
think
what
the
you're
purpose of
asking there. You're thinking that we should have, just stick with having an officer there, but just not charge them for it, is that
No,
kinda what you're saying?
I agree with them. I don't see any need to have
Okay.
one, but if it's, if its council feels that it's absolutely necessary to have an officer there, I would think that it would be more fair if the council were to assume that responsibility for paying for that officer.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
I guess I don't know what the difference would be from not having an officer at the bar or at the park, when a park is more family oriented and it's outside and they're on call and the police are already on call. So I guess I don't know what I don't understand why we would need to pay or they would need to pay, because I know when we hold events at the
Typically, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, but typically with events, you look to find an officer that's not on duty and they will work the event. Is that correct?
That's
So it's
correct.
not taking away from your capacity to respond.
Sure, so there are times when, if there are special events going on all the time, and what we're seeing is more and more special events. There's no more money allocated to our budget for overtime from the city, so, years ago, as we saw this increase in special events and alcohol becoming more prevalent on public property, I think that's when the council took the action that if you're gonna allow the alcohol out there, that you're gonna have police presence. Not just to respond, because if we're staffed at a certain level and then there's 3 other events going on that night that we're not aware of, we may not have an officer available to respond to a special event or a large gathering of people that we're not aware of. So there's a lot more that goes into it than just one person here, one person there. And obviously, we all know that sometimes just the presence is a deterrent. So, but that's up to you guys. I mean, this is the decision that you guys
I think
make.
we're still new enough in making people comfortable with what we're doing here, that I think we should kind of just stick to what we set out to do, and revisit again next year. And quite frankly, I'm very grateful that you folks are kind of blazing the trail, because like you said, it is a very relaxed and peaceful group of people listening to your concerts, so.
Can't hurt to ask.
Right.
I believe we did okay one where you didn't have a beer tent or a beer restriction. Individuals were allowed to bring in their own alcohol.
Right.
That's what we're asking.
And at that time, we did not require did we require a policeman at that?
No, you always required a policeman, but there was one time, I think it didn't get posted or something, and so we didn't have
They
one.
didn't show up.
Were there any problems?
No, it was posted late. It wasn't that they
Okay.
didn't show up.
Okay.
We had,
Yeah, it wasn't that they
it
didn't
was
show
late
up.
notice, and there wasn't adequate time to
But as far as having
schedule
one,
somebody. Just wanna
having
make that
one-
clear, not that it matters, but
No, it's an important distinction.
having an officer there, not an extra officer there, if he could get called away. They could get called away, and then you would not have one there. So I
and the
think
pavilion
it's-
group is correct. We have not had an issue out there.
Is
Yeah,
there
it's-
anybody else there, I mean, commission members, pavilion members
Oh,
that
they're
are
always there.
organizing the events, that provide any kind of oversight of the event?
Yeah, the pavilion commission
That's
is.
the motion.
Okay,
We don't need to.
so it's not like we're just throwing a bunch of drunks in the park.
So is it,
Not yet.
okay, so if we keep things the way it is, we still need to approve this as a council.
Correct.
So moved. As
Second,
it
and
was.
we're keeping it as is for now.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a motion, a second, to approve the special events permit and leave it as is with the officer, correct?
Made the second.
Roger.
Roger.
With the requirement that they have an officer.
Right.
Correct.
That's the way it is now.
Yeah.
That's, we're
Go with
approved,
that.
your motion second is to prove it the way it is now, leave it this way.
But you're giving us 5 BYOB concerts.
That's with us.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 9, consider resolution approving the second reading of ordinance number 1981, amending Title 13, Chapter 8 sewer rates of the Keokuk Municipal Code. I need a motion to approve
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
The discussion
Discussion?
is that this is a rather comprehensive increase structured over the next 10 years that we know is going to be necessary for our sewer separation. And we're trying to make it a gentle incremental increase, but we have been under the pressure to do this in the past, and we have gotten soft because we're trying to help give the people a break. We did give them a break one year, and then we had to come back and raise it a little bit higher the next year. And I think the way that we've approached it in the past has not been, we know what we're gonna be facing here, and it's not, I don't appreciate the necessity of having to do this, but it is necessary. And hopefully the term with which the next 10 years that we're doing it gently will ameliorate some of the burden of that increase. So,
Okay. Any other comments or discussion? Roll call.
O'Connor,
aye.
Payne,
Aye.
Day,
Aye.
Ellenthal,
Aye.
Greenwald,
Aye.
Bryant,
Aye,
Dunnick.
Aye.
with regret.
With regret.
With
With
regret.
regrets.
With great regret.
Ron did it with pain.
Yeah.
Sorry. Item number 10, consider resolution approving second reading of ordinance number 1982, setting forth contractor requirements for work in Oakland Cemetery. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Roll call.
O'Connor,
Aye.
Payne,
Aye.
Day,
Aye.
Ellenthal,
Aye.
Greenwald,
Aye.
Bryant,
Aye.
Dunnick.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 11, consider the resolution accepting a quote for the 13th and Des Moines sanitary point repair. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second, by Roger. Any discussion?
Just,
That-
sorry, I just wanted to add to go over the two quotes. This was a quote process because it was under the competitive bid threshold. The two quotes that we received were from Keokuk Contractors and Myers Driveway and Septic. Keokuk Contractors was the low bid at $37,647. Myers Driveway and Septic was the next bid at $39,890. This work will permit the repaving of 13th Street South once this is completed, and a few other point repairs. So the sooner it can be completed, the better. There you go.
Any other discussion?
I'd just like to say that I'm happy to see that we're getting bids and getting jobs to local contractors.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 12, consider a resolution accepting a quote for the 10th and Seymour sewer repair. Do you want to discuss that before we
Yep.
get the motion?
Real quick. Two quotes on this project. The first quote, or the low quote, was Myers Driveway and Septic at $57,615. The other quote was from Keokuk Contractors at $58,130. This work has been identified as urgent work that needs to be completed, that was not included in the CDBG project and is not eligible, or not, the sewer department's not able to complete this work. So that's why it's being moved forward separately and before the council at this point.
Mr. Mayor, I'm gonna be abstaining from voting on this as a conflict of interest.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve?
It's moved.
Second?
Second.
Michael Connor, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And one abstention. Item number 13, consider a resolution rescinding resolution number 44-18 dated March 15, 2018, and setting the corrected fees for Oakland Cemetery.
Just one comment, the correction was, there were two corrections actually. The fee for disinterment was set at the wrong rate. It had still included the excavation portion, the digging portion of the disinterment. That is now being moved to outside contractors, not being hired through the city, so that should have been removed. The other correction was to the insurance requirements, modifying those to just reflect general liability, auto liability, and workman's comp.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 14, consider resolution setting a public hearing for April 19, 2018 in the City Council Chambers, 415 Blondo Street, Keokuk, Iowa, on a proposal to vacate and dispose of a 30 by 20 section of the alleyway in Block 5 of Kilbourne Addition, City of Keokuk, Lee County, Iowa, and proper notices be published. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
This is just a leftover portion of that we had already vacated, and it's just to complete that portion of land for the development of the health center out by the
16th Street.
16th Street by the bank.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 15, consider a resolution setting a public hearing for April 19, 2018 in the City Council Chambers, 415 Blondo Street, Keokuk, Iowa, to vacate and dispose of a 66 by 300 foot portion of William Street between blocks 24 and 41 and B and C streets, and that proper notices be published. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 16, considered resolution setting a public hearing for May 3rd, 2018 in the City Council Chambers, 415 Blondo Street, Keokuk, Iowa, proposing disposal and transfer of certain real estate interests in Kindersley Park and owned by the city via sealed bid auction and authorizing public notice. That's, everybody understand what that is? Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any committee reports? Any new business? Do I have a motion to approve, a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Well, we'll see if the Cards can come back. They're down 2-0. Osuna Martinez, Molina.